Clint Eastwood kicked off the View after fiery live Clash VPT format. No heading, no scene split. 10 paragraphs, each around 1,000 alphabets. With paragraph numbering 1, Clint Eastwood entered the set of The View with his trademark calm and rugged demeanor, greeted by respectful applause from the studio audience. The veteran actor and director, known for his stoic presence and politically charged opinions, was invited to discuss his latest film, Western drama about legacy and masculinity. The hosts welcomed him with cautious optimism, knowing his presence guaranteed unfiltered views. Things began cordially, with Whoopi Goldberg praising his contributions to American cinema. Clint nodded with quiet appreciation and responded, "I've just always tried to tell stories that speak to human instincts. Courage, failure, grit." But the tone would soon shift dramatically. 2. Joy Behar brought up a more recent interview, in which Eastwood had commented on the softening of American culture. "You said America has gotten too sensitive," she said. "Do you mean that people shouldn't speak out against injustice?" Eastwood replied coolly. "No, I mean we've confused being offended with being harmed. It's dangerous," the audience murmured. Sunny Hostin raised her eyebrow and challenged him. "But what about voices that never had the platform before? Isn't sensitivity sometimes just people finally being heard?" Clint leaned back in his chair, hands clasped. "There's a difference between being heard and demanding the world kneel to your feelings." 3. As the tension grew, Ana Navarro asked about his views on diversity in Hollywood. Clint responded, "Talent is colorblind. Shouldn't be casting based on quotas or guilt." That set off immediate discomfort among the panel. Sunny jumped in again, but representation matters, especially in an industry that erased so many for so long. Clint didn't flinch. "What matters most is excellence. If we start handing out roles or awards just to check boxes, we insult everyone involved." The studio audience was split. Some clapped. Others stayed silent. Joy tried to pivot, but the divide was already wide and unspokenly tense. 4. The real spark ignited when Whoopi brought up Eastwood's past political endorsements, including controversial comments made during the 2012 Republican National Convention. "Do you stand by that whole empty chair bit?" she asked. Clint chuckled. "It was symbolic. Maybe it didn't land for everyone, but at least it was honest," Whoopi replied. "Or maybe it was just confusing and dismissive to a lot of people watching." Clint narrowed his eyes slightly. "I wasn't hired to babysit people's interpretations." The jab hit hard. Joy laughed nervously, but the heat in the room was rising. Clint seemed unmoved, unaffected by the confrontation brewing around him. 5. Sunny brought up the Me Too movement and asked Clint if he believed it changed Hollywood for the better. "It made people cautious," he said.
Nice.
"But sometimes I think we've traded actual justice for trial by internet." That remark drew gasps. "So you think women speaking out is a threat?" Sunny shot back. Clint responded calmly, "I think due process matters. People should speak out, but not at the cost of others being condemned before facts are known." The studio went quiet. Whoopi leaned in slightly, saying, "But you do see the problem when powerful men abuse that system, right?" Clint replied, "Of course I do. I've seen that firsthand. But justice without fairness is just revenge." 6. Ana Navarro attempted to cool the moment, asking about Clint's views on youth and activism today. "They care. They're passionate. But they're also impulsive," Clint said. "They want the world to change overnight without understanding how slow that process is." Joy interjected, "But didn't your generation protest too?" Clint nodded. "Yes. And we also got told to grow up. Sometimes that was the best advice we ever got." That statement triggered a wave of side eyes from the hosts. Whoopi, her tone sharp, said, "So the message is shut up and wait?" Clint answered, "No. The message is learn before you shout." 7. The back and forth became more pointed. Joy finally said, "It seems like you don't believe in change unless it fits your values." Clint turned to her and replied, "No, I just don't believe in change driven by fear or guilt." Sunny added, "But fear is sometimes a symptom of survival. People speak out because they have to." Clint replied, "Then speak out. But don't expect everyone to agree just because you feel strongly. The temperature dropped further. Clint adjusted his mic slightly, an action many would soon interpret as the prelude to his exit. The room was beginning to buzz with tension no joke could defuse. 8. Whoopi addressed him again. Clint, with all respect, it sounds like you're dismissing lived experiences. Eastwood didn't back down, saying perspective matters. I've lived 90+ years. I've seen real oppression, and I've also seen people mistake discomfort for oppression. That's dangerous. With that, he removed his microphone, his jaw tight. If I can't speak honestly without walking on eggshells, then I've overstayed my welcome. The hosts were momentarily stunned. Whoopi started to respond, but he was already standing up. Thank you for having me, he said, and without waiting for permission or applause, Clint Eastwood walked off stage, dignified and unwavering. 9. The studio audience didn't know how to react. Some clapped. Some stayed seated in stunned silence. Joy turned to the camera and forced a smile. Well, that was a conversation. The segment ended prematurely, and the producers scrambled to fill the remainder of the slot with panel commentary. On social media, the walk-off exploded. Supporters praised Eastwood for his unfiltered honesty, while critics accused him of being dismissive and outdated. Hashtags like #Clint on The View and #Eastwood Unplugged trended for hours. Clips of the moment were everywhere, spawning reaction videos, editorial think pieces, and late-night spoofs by comedians eager to jump into the culture clash. 10 by the. Next morning, Eastwood had issued no comment, but as publicists confirmed, he stood by everything he said. The View released a short statement calling the discussion passionate and important, without apology or defense. Whether people agreed or disagreed with Eastwood, one thing was clear: the clash had struck a nerve. In an age of cautious phrasing and public image control, Clint Eastwood reminded everyone that not all guests arrived to be agreeable. His walk-off wasn't just about a disagreement, it was a visible boundary drawn in real time. And as always, Eastwood left without flinching, letting the silence speak louder than the argument itself.